What's up everybody? My name is Mike Perea, and in this video I'm going to tell you why your camera doesn't matter. The type, the brand, whether it's mirrorless, DSLR, doesn't matter. Now the reason why I called this video Your Camera Doesn't Matter is because I just had the unique experience of breaking my Nikon D850. I had it underwater in a housing, an Outex housing that I use, and I didn't tighten down one of the rings. It leaked, got into the camera, and went went bye-bye. This is it right here. It is now an ornament. Just put that back. I got a new one now, so it's fine, but I had to go on a trip. I had a trip planned to northern Arizona to a place that I've been wanting to get to for a long time. It's a real gnarly road to get to, deep sand, four-wheel drive. Had a bunch of gear, recovery gear, just in case I got stuck. It was pretty intense. The landscape there was just so unique, so what I had to do was suck it up and use my very first camera. The first camera I ever bought. This is a Nikon D3300. This is about a $300 camera. The lens I have on it is a Tokina 11 to 16 millimeter f2.8. This lens runs about $400 brand new. My entire setup may have been about $700. No filters, just a tripod. I didn't have any intervalometer with it. It was just the camera. That is it. Nothing else. And I have my Sony that I'm shooting on right now, the Sony a7 III that I do all my video with, but you know, I could have used that. I have a couple of lenses for it. I have a 28 millimeter that I'm shooting on right now, f2, and I also have a 55 millimeter f1.8. Beautiful lenses. I love this camera. It has great results, but you know, as I was getting ready to head out there and realizing, you know, the week before that I had broke my D850, and I kind of wanted to challenge myself, you know, with all the new cameras coming out, all of the mirrorless, and everybody's arguing online about which one's better, which one sucks, and how they all suck, and you know, if you shoot Sony, then all the Nikons are a joke, and we're laughing at you, or you know, if you're a Nikon shooter, that's the greatest thing ever. You know, I found it funny that everybody kind of argues over it online. It's pretty funny to me. I don't like to do that. But anyway, so I decided to challenge myself and take this camera out. It's a crop sensor, 24 megapixel. It's, you know, like I said, just a very basic camera. I don't even know how old it is now, maybe 4 or 5 years old, 3 years, I don't know. But like I said, this is the first camera I ever bought. And so with all the limitations that this camera has, you know, just the really limited features that this has compared to this D850, which is, I think, is the best landscape camera in the world. You know, I know Sony's got that a7R III that is awesome. The a7 III that I'm shooting on is great, but like I said, I wanted to challenge myself and prove that it's not the camera that matters. And you know, I think the arguments online are kind of silly, and you know, just everything comes down to your knowledge of composition and lighting, your vision, everything that's up here in your head. Whatever limitations you have on your camera, you can work around. So no matter what camera you have, there's always going to be limitations. Every single camera has something that it's not very good at. There's always going to be a camera that does something better. There's always going to be some kind of limitations. Even the D850, you know, let's say you want to use it for video, the autofocus is terrible. Now, there's ways around that. There's ways around every limitation of every single camera out there. So with the extreme limitations of this one, I wanted to go out and shoot an epic landscape, shoot it with something with extreme limitations, and really challenge myself. So that's what I did, and I actually ended up coming back with 5 images. I also am going to print out large at 24 by 36 from this crop sensor 24 megapixel camera. It's a blue hour shot that I really love a lot. So let's go here. I'm going to show you guys this very first image. Now this image here is of my buddy James. He ran up to the top of this rock and the sun was getting ready to set. I just shot this using composition, using light, using everything that I knew how, providing a really interesting foreground. And we're gonna zoom in here a little bit. I'm gonna show you guys the detail of this camera. You know, we went out and you can see here how sharp this camera is throughout the entire frame. This was one single image. This wasn't focus stacked or anything. I just found these leading lines with, you know, him standing up on top. The composition, I believe, was just perfect. And you know, it just worked out really great. It has a big landscape, what I like to call big landscape, little person. I love that style. I shoot it as much as possible. And going out and shooting with these other photographers and having them run up and me run up and standing and really showing the scale of this place was what matters. It's all about the story of the image, guys. It doesn't matter what camera you use. You can tell a story with every camera. So he ran up to the top. You guys can see right here, the light coming in, and it shows him just kind of sitting up on top of that rock, shows the scale of the place. Everything about this screams composition and light. That's it. Nobody cares about what camera I shot that with. You can see, so this was shot at ISO 100, right at 11 millimeters at f11, 1/320th of a second, and this was all handheld. All these first two shots that I'm going to show you are all handheld, no tripod. So the next image I'm going to show you guys is James again. He took my jacket. That's my blue jacket that I brought out just for this shot because I knew this landscape was going to be really red. It looks like, we call it the brain rocks. It looks like just brains everywhere. Like I said, this landscape is so unique. So that also helps too, is going to an epic spot. But you can see here, I wanted him in the picture to show the scale. You got a little bit of framing on the right here with this rock, a little bit of framing on the left, and it's a little bit darker. Got some light coming in from the right, and then you just got this giant landscape. It sticks out so much to me. I love this shot. You got him in the blue jacket, which contrasts with the red. So you got color contrast in this. Then you got the blue sky. So you got blue sky, blue jacket, red and white rocks. It's just the image itself, the story it tells is of the landscape of James sitting on this rock, handheld, ISO 100. I shot this at 16 millimeters, f11, 1/320th of a second, and this was also handheld. So you can see here, everything again is composition and light. It's all about the story. Now, we're gonna go to the third image here. This is the image I'm gonna print. This one was shot at blue hour. After the sun had set, it's starting to get light out. You can see very small up here on the left-hand side. That's actually Mars, pretty cool. You had about a 38% moon, so you can see that in the top right-hand corner. This was shot at ISO 100, 11 millimeters at f5 at 5 seconds. So obviously this was on a tripod. I had it all set up. This is one shot, not focus stacked. And you guys will zoom in here and you can see just how sharp it is throughout the frame. I was close enough to get, you know, the nice details in this rocks, but far enough away that I could get this all sharp in one shot. So you can see here the colors are really nice, got the nice clear sky. And this image I'm gonna print 24x36. In the next video you guys are gonna see, I'm gonna show you guys this in a print. I'm gonna print it large. This is one of my favorite images because it has the leading lines. It's all about composition and light again. So you got the light from the moon, the light from the setting sun, kind of the ambient light falling over the landscape, the red rocks, this swooping kind of pattern in the rocks leading up to this beautiful rock formation that's pretty famous. A lot of people shoot here. Like I said, guys, story. Everything is about the story. Everything is about the landscape and composition. So super important. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one, but stay tuned for you're going to see this in the next video or two when I get the print in. It's already been ordered, so it'll be in soon. All right, this one. Now, this is where the limitations of the camera kind of hindered a little bit, but I still ended up with a really cool shot. So the moon was setting behind, I kind of ran up, this is the same rock formation as the last shot I just showed you guys, but I ran up really close, the Milky Way was coming in, and that moon, that 38% moon was setting just behind that rock formation, so I got this really cool moon burst. This is one shot. Now, with this camera, you can't, to choose the ISO, you can only choose 100, 200, 400, 800, 1600, 3200. You can't go in between. It's very limited on, like I said, the features here. So at low light, kind of struggled a little bit. It's very noisy. It's a very noisy image in the foreground, which if I would have had an intervalometer, I could have set this on bulb mode and taken two separate shots, one for the landscape, one for the night sky, at different settings, and then blended them together. That would have helped a lot with the, I could have shot it at a lower ISO with a longer shutter speed. But I got this all in one image, and this was shot at ISO 3200 at f2.8 for 25 seconds. You guys can see here how unique this shot is. This is one shot, okay? This is one image. This isn't a blended image. This isn't a composite. This is one shot. I have the moon. I have the Milky Way. I have Mars over here on the left, and very, very small, I'm going to zoom in, very, very small right here. This is actually Jupiter. So I got some planets in there with the Milky Way and a moon burst. And so this image, although technically it's noisy, It's such a unique image and I love it so much. This made me so happy to get this shot. And honestly, I didn't think I was gonna get the Milky Way because of the conditions that I had, the moon being out, and I knew it was gonna be, you know, pretty close to the Milky Way core, but I still end up getting some Milky Way. I'm super excited about this shot. I love it, so pretty crazy. Anyway, all right, let's move on to the very last image I got. This here is the same rock formation. There's a little puddle in front of it, and I was able to get some reflection of that formation, and you can see down here a little bit of the reflection of the Milky Way. I got the reflection of Mars. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and you can see it is a little bit noisier. This is ISO 3200 f11. I'm sorry, 11 millimeters at f2.8 at 30 seconds. So you guys can see here, we'll zoom in a little bit and you can see the stars kind of started to trail a little bit at 30 seconds, but oh man, that's just beautiful. You got the shadow, you got the light over here on the very right from the moon, and you got, you know, casting some shadows. You got a little bit of light here on this side, a little bit of light on the side of the rock formation there, and then you got some reflection. So I'm super happy with this, guys. These 5 images I got with, like I said, a crop sensor camera. So like I said, I just wanted to prove to myself and then to make this video to show you guys that your camera doesn't matter. I could have shot pretty much all these same images with the D850. I could have shot these exact same images. The only thing I could have done different is because I have a better ISO performance. I could have maybe bumped down the ISO just a little bit in between 3200 and 1600. You know, I can do 2000 or 2500 with this camera, so I could have had a little bit better noise, a little bit better dynamic range, and possibly gotten a little bit better quality images from my Milky Way shots. But I still, with, you know, like I said, with the intervalometer, I could have got a better shot with this too. So no matter what camera you have, you can get around its limitations. You know, as great as this camera is, I was able to come away with 5 images with this camera that were spectacular, that I love a lot, that I'm really attached to, probably because I shot it with this, and like I said, I challenged myself, and I'm happy with it, guys. There's always ways around it. It's all about composition, light, and what's going on in your brain, your vision, and tell a story. So anyway, that's it, guys. I just wanted to make this quick video to kind of just to touch on this subject. It's been pretty dominant over the last couple of weeks with the cameras that are coming out. So anyway, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you on the next one.